$29.60 for next year, $22.96 for 5 years. That immediately gives us the estimated growth rate for between years 2 through 5. Remember that 5-year growth is the estimated average growth over the next 5 years, or annualized growth. We already know the estimated growth for next year. We're just backing out what the average growth would have been or should be between years 2 and 5. Using that formula. That immediately gives us the estimated EPS for those 5 years. And that's 5-year average EPS. And divide the price with the 5-year average EPS. I get $16.99. Okay. We're gonna do a correction to that a little bit later, but not now. Kind of to allow differentials in risk, but for now, think of this as like almost a Shiller's version of forward Shiller. The difference between Shiller and this is there is no adjustment for inflation, but we're gonna make an adjustment for cost of capital. So in its spirit, we're gonna effectively do a 5-year Shiller PE. What Shiller PE does, it takes price and divides it by past 10-year average earnings adjusted for inflation. I mean, if you can forecast earnings for 10 years, go ahead and do it, but nobody's estimating it that far. We can do certain things, but at this point, predicting anything over 5 years is going to be a speculation. And we don't make investment decisions based on just speculation alone. So let's do the same thing for Disney. Oh, I was gonna get the other numbers too while I'm here. What other numbers I need are total liabilities and cash-like assets. So let's go to financials. Come on, I'm gonna do quarterly to get the latest. Oh, I want the balance sheet. And I want total liabilities net of minority interest. You guys know what minority interest is? Anyone? It has to do with rules for consolidating balance sheets. By regulation, companies have to consolidate financial statements of their subsidiaries, which simply means for balance sheets, they add the balance sheets of the main firm and balance sheets of all the subsidiaries. If ownership interest in all the subsidiaries is 100%, that's not a problem. But there are subsidiaries where ownership interest is less than 100%, but the firm still has a controlling interest. And the rules do not say, do the consolidation using, if you own 51% of company B, add company A balance sheet and 51% of company B balance sheet. That's not how consolidation is done, unfortunately. It should be, but it's not. Leave it to accountants. You can show this year this way, you can show this year this way, right? But accountants show it this way. What they do, you basically add the balance sheets or in general financial statements of A and B. Then you add a contra item that says minority interest. For example, if the company B liabilities was 100 million, you own 51%. technically your liabilities are 51 million, right? But in the consolidated balance sheets, that's going to be reported as 100. That 49 million is the minority interest portion of the liabilities. Hence, we're looking for a number called total liabilities net of minority interest, okay? These are in thousands, so I'm going to convert them to millions. 27,817, I'm just going to round them up. And under total assets, under current assets, I'm looking for cash, cash equivalent, and short-term investments. Those are cash-like assets. And that's 6058. So Netflix has essentially $6 billion of cash. Not all of it is cash. I mean, if you want to look at it, 4 billion in cash, 1 billion in cash equivalents, and about $1 billion in short-term investments. The reason we want that, when we're calculating enterprise value, we're going to look at something called net liabilities. Liabilities net of readily available assets, cash and cash-like. In essence, that's net debt of the firm. We don't consider receivables readily available. A, it's not guaranteed that you're going to get them. And B, you can't simply convert them to cash immediately. But short-term investments, typically you can. I mean, if you own $10 million worth of Google shares, that would be short-term investments. You can sell that just like this, even in bad markets. If you own $10 billion worth of Google shares, obviously that's not going to be the case. That's not going to be listed in under short-term investments anyway. All right. Oh, these were Netflix numbers, I think. Yes. Now let's go to Disney. Statistics. I'm gonna round it up to 81 and 1692. Number of shares is 183 billion, so 1830 million. Let's look at the quarterly balance sheet. They haven't announced their third quarter yet, but we'll just use the last one. 92,841. As you can imagine, Disney is a bigger company. And they have 11.5 billion in cash, or cash-like stuff. 11,458. And let's look at their growth estimates. 2940 and 1698. And let's look at the estimated earnings for 2024. That's 449. We get for the next 12 months about 479. Close enough. Now, based on 5-year forward PEs, which one would you go for? Disney or Netflix? Netflix is about 17, Disney is about 13. What do you think? And think about what PE type stuff means.
Weren't you in the classroom yesterday talking about how Phil's tired possibly value? Weren't you in the, I forget who it was, you and somebody yesterday was talking about that, and weren't you saying that it's tired possibly be overvalued?
If it's higher, yes. I mean, the higher is the PE, assuming growth differentials after 5 years are not different, because at this point, we assume like after 5 years they're going to grow at a similar rate. So they're not thinking about those because we have no information. And if we have reasons to believe that after 5 years, Netflix is going to continue to grow faster than Disney, that conclusion may change, but at least based on the next 5 years growth estimates, it's going to take you an average of 13 years roughly to get your investment back. And I shouldn't even say it. Technically speaking, payback period is a little bit different, but price divided by 5 year expected average EPS is 13. So think of it like it's gonna take you, let's divide that by 5. It's gonna take you 2.55 5-year periods to get your investment back, assuming investment back.